Hi everyone, I'm Dan from Jazz Composers Present.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Jim Saltzman, saxophonist, composer, and faculty member of the Manhattan School of Music Jazz Arts program. Jim is here to discuss using small shapes to create a larger work.
Welcome everybody. I wanted to take just a couple minutes of your time to discuss how I create a larger piece of music from something inherently very small. When I compose, I find that this process of manipulating small melodic cells helps me get out of dry spells and ruts. Can we please bring up the first slide? So this initial shape really came out by accident. I had just finished teaching a flute lesson and my hands quickly grazed the Wurlitzer in the room that I was working in, and I played this melody. In the process of doing that, I was like, that sounds kind of cool. Let me write that down. And it seemed to be like an insignificant melody that I didn't really put any thought into until I sat down and started really exploring what I could possibly do with this one shape. So maybe I'm sort of an antiquated dinosaur, but I still like doing most of my compositional work by hand, usually with large, orchestra 18 stave paper with a pencil. That's always been my process. I like the idea of making a mark with a pencil before I get into doing anything with finale. But for today, can we please bring up the next slide? So this is an example of some stuff that I had already written down by hand. And then I started working it into finale of how I could look at different ways of connecting that opening shape, some of it harmonically, some of it in terms of making a longer melody out of that opening statement. So this melody ends up becoming elongated like this. Turning it around, inverting it and moving it through, but then looking for different ways of connecting the chords. So some of it was, well, maybe I should take a bass line that's sort of like moving by fifths and then connecting that line through larger chromatic embellishments. Really just kind of combining as much as I possibly could, always based off of that one little motivic cell. Can we please move to the next slide? So in this next slide, what I actually have, and this is from a larger big band exposition of this initial melody, what I did is I took that opening phrase and then I began to kind of decorate that opening melody with more enclosures or, traditional jazz / bebop language to create a longer line. So now what we have is so it's all kind of rooted within that opening, 4 or 5 note melody, but connecting it into a much larger stretch of melodic information. Can we go to the next slide? So now this opening phrase that we're seeing in measure 41 of this chart, which jokingly I called it more of the same, since I was literally developing more of the same material over and over and over again. Now it's reharmonized. The melodies are split up. And everything's becoming more connected, again, flowing out of that initial idea. So now we're going to listen to an excerpt from this composition, which again is called More of the Same. At this point, it really begins like the first real statement of the melody, exposed mostly by the soprano saxophone with also trumpet, developing through and then leading into the eventual soprano saxophone solo. And this soloist is Craig Yaremko, an old friend of mine that I've known since high school. So in that excerpt, again, we heard a lot of information that I showed everybody earlier in the sketches, and even making the bass lines that are being played by the bari sax, the bass trombone, and the bass, all, kind of utilizing that opening melody as more of a bass line, which leads us into the next video where we're beginning to hear a continuation of the soprano saxophone solo, but now the initial melody literally is the bass line completely reharmonized as the solo continues to expand from there. Well, everybody, this is just a couple clips of some examples of how I take a very, very small melodic shape, but create that into a much larger compositional work. I hope this helps you think about different ways that you might approach taking something very small and hopefully writing some music, developing these ideas yourself. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos in the comment section down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head over to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.